Totally forgetting elevation, my finger on this pipe is like a valve. This is a shut valve. So I can, just holding the pipe here, I can give drops. I can give a little bit of flow. I can give more flow. I can give full blast flow. I'm at full flow. Can go to zero flow. Now this pump just went from the right end of the curve all the way to the left end of the curve. You see, I've got maximum pressure against my finger and zero flow. I am all the way back there at shutoff head. Totally independent of the elevation. Now, this means that an operator can control his pump. He can control the flow by manipulating the elevation differential, or he can control the flow with a control valve. An operator has another method to control the flow. And I'm gonna do an example. Often in Sassel or in a chemical plant, you pump onto a header, maybe a collecting header, maybe a pressurized header, maybe a reactor vessel, maybe a pressure vessel. You're pumping into a pressure vessel, maybe a header, maybe a reactor, maybe a tank, maybe a boiler. So by governing the pressure in the header or the tank, if I put high pressure in the downstream tank, I can stop the pump. If I bleed some pressure or open a pressure valve, I can get more flow to less flow. So I'm going to crimp the hose right here and drain this liquid out of the pump. Now I'll spray myself and everybody else in the room if I try to manipulate the pressure. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my mouth and my lungs on this piece of pipe, and I'm going to blow against the pump. Use my lung pressure to blow against the pump. And I'm going to hold this pump at shutoff head with my lungs. Now, here we go. Now watch it here. You get a good breath here. Okay. Waiting for the right psychological moment. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. About to spring a leak. All right. In more than one orifice. All right, where was the pump on the curve? When I was blowing, where was the pump on the curve? Shut off head. Shut off head. Now, obviously, I could have relaxed the pressure from my lungs. If I let out a little bit of the pressure, then the flow would have come at me. So let's go to Sassel, maybe Rand Water, maybe a chemical plant. You're pumping onto a pressurized header. The operator can manipulate the pressure in the header and control his pump on the curve. Does everybody understand that? Now the steering wheel gives the driver of a car the ability to stay in his lane. And then we have the brakes, that's another way of controlling the car. And then the accelerator pedal is a totally different way of controlling a car. Most operators do not know how to control their pumps. They will open a valve, turn on the pump, and let the pump do whatever it wants to do. And you could not call that driving a car. Sit down, sit at this car, start the engine, put the car in gear, and then just let the car do whatever it wants to do. So the operators with no gauges, no controls, no understanding of the curve, they do not know what their pump is doing.